my childhood diary, and it broke me. I wasn't prepared for what I found. It was supposed to be a simple cleanout, just a box of old stuff from my mom's attic. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity got the better of me. My name's Erin. I'm 31, and I've been in therapy for the last 2 years, trying to untangle a childhood I've mostly blurred out. Not because anything overtly horrific happened. At least, that's what I used to think. It was just always complicated. My mom passed away last year. Cancer. We had a rocky relationship, but I was the only child, and she died alone. So I did what I had to, came back to the house, sorted her things, said the right words to distant relatives, handled it. After the funeral, I left most of her stuff untouched. I didn't feel ready. But this week, I finally decided to deal with the attic. Get it over with. That's where I found it. A small, worn-out pink notebook with a lock that had long since broken off. It had stickers on it, faded unicorns and stars, and my name written in purple marker on the inside cover. It was my diary, my childhood diary. I sat down right there on the floor, surrounded by dust and silence, and I started to read. At first it was cute. Cringy but cute. Dear Diary, today I had mac and cheese and it was the best ever. That kind of thing. I was probably 7 or 8, but then it shifted, subtly at first. Mom got mad again because I spilled juice on the couch. She said I'm not careful and I'll end up like him. I paused. Who was him? I flipped a few pages. Today I stayed in my room all day so I wouldn't bother her. She didn't notice. Another entry. She told me to stop crying or she'd give me something to cry about. I already was crying though. And then, sometimes I pretend I'm invisible. It's easier that way. My stomach dropped. I don't remember writing these. I don't remember feeling this way. But the handwriting was mine. The spelling errors, the doodles in the margins, it was all undeniably me. I kept reading. Dear Diary, I miss Dad. But I can't say that out loud. She says he was a mistake. Am I a mistake too? That one broke me. I sat there just holding it, feeling like I was reading the thoughts of a child I didn't recognize, even though she was me. The thing is, I remember my mom being harsh. She wasn't affectionate. She had a sharp tongue, always focused on appearances. But I told myself she did her best, that she was tired, that she had it worse growing up. But this diary, it was a mirror I didn't want to look into. I flipped further, pages from when I was around 10 or 11. She found my report card and said B's aren't good enough, that I'll never make it if I'm average. I tried to hug her today and she pulled away. I told her I felt sad and she laughed. She said, "What do you have to be sad about?" Every page dug a little deeper. And then this one. I had a nightmare and went to her room. She told me to grow up and shut the door. I cried on the floor outside until I fell asleep. I remembered that night. Not the details, but the feeling cold, alone, confused why my own mother didn't want me near her. I thought I'd buried that. Reading those pages was like reopening a wound I didn't even know I had. It wasn't just sadness. It was this deep, nauseating grief for the child I was, for the love I never got, for the parts of me that shut down too early because I thought I had to be quiet, perfect, easy to deal with. And then, I found the entry that shattered me. Today she told me she never wanted kids, that I ruined everything. I asked if she meant it. She didn't answer. I had to stop reading. I closed the diary and sat there for I don't know how long, just crying. Quiet, ugly crying. The kind that makes your throat hurt. I never knew she said that. Or maybe I blocked it out. But seeing it written in my own hand, there was no denying it. She didn't want me. She saw me as a burden. And suddenly, so many things made sense. Why I always overachieved. Why I couldn't take a compliment. Why I flinched when people raised their voice. Why I never felt like I belonged anywhere, even in my own skin. I thought I had grown out of it. Thought I'd healed. But that diary, it reminded me that healing isn't just moving on. It's remembering too. And sometimes remembering hurts more than forgetting ever did. I brought the diary home, put it in a drawer. I haven't looked at it since, but I think I will. Slowly, with support. My therapist says it's brave, revisiting the past. I don't feel brave. I feel broken. But maybe breaking is what comes before rebuilding. And maybe, just maybe, reading that little girl's words is how I finally start listening to her. The next few days after finding that diary were weird. It was like I couldn't see anything the same way. Not my childhood bedroom. Not the pictures on the walls. Not even my own reflection. I kept wondering how much of who I am now was shaped by the parts of my childhood I don't even remember. I called my aunt, my mom's younger sister. We weren't super close growing up, but she'd always been the nice one. The one who gave me extra candy when my mom wasn't looking. I asked her something I never thought I would. "Do you think my mom wanted me?" There was a long pause on the line. Then she said, "Erin, your mom was complicated. She went through a lot before you were born. But no, I don't think she was ready to be a mom. I think she resented how much her life changed after you came. It hit like a punch to the gut. I didn't want to believe it, but deep down, I already knew. And then she said something else. She loved you in her own way, but she didn't know how to show it, and she never wanted anyone to see how much she was struggling. I asked her why no one ever said anything. Why no one ever stepped in. She just sighed and said, "Back then, we didn't talk about things like that. We pretended. We smiled at birthdays and ignored the rest." I hung up feeling like my whole childhood had been built on silence. A few weeks later, I took the diary to my therapist. We started going through it, page by page. Sometimes I'd read out loud. Sometimes I couldn't even get the words out without crying. But something strange happened the more I read. I started remembering. Not just the pain, but little things I thought I'd lost. The smell of pancakes on Saturday mornings when she did try. The way she'd hum to herself when folding laundry. The one time she actually came to a school play, sat in the back and waved. It wasn't all bad, but it was always fragile. Like any moment of warmth could snap in half if I breathed too loud. And still, that little girl, me, kept writing, kept hoping, kept loving a mother who couldn't love her back in the way she needed. There was one entry I kept coming back to. Maybe if I'm really good, she'll want to hug me. Or say she's proud. I stared at that line for a long time. Because even now, at 31, I realize I'm still chasing that feeling, that validation, that one moment where someone sees me and says, "You're enough." I've spent my entire life trying to earn something that was never mine to earn. And I think that's the part that breaks me the most. But also, that's the part that finally woke me up, because that little girl deserved love without having to beg for it. She deserved safety, kindness, comfort. And I can't go back and change the past, but I can change the way I treat her now. Me, I started writing in a new journal. Nothing fancy, just thoughts, little letters to that girl inside me. I tell her I'm proud of her for surviving. I tell her she didn't do anything wrong, that she wasn't too much or too emotional or too needy. She was just a kid, and she deserved better. We all do. And now, a few months later, I'm starting to feel something I never thought I would. Peace. It's not perfect. Grief never is. But there's a softness in me now that wasn't there before. A tenderness for my younger self. And slowly, I'm learning how to give myself the love I was missing. I still keep that old diary in my drawer. I don't need to read it every day. Just knowing it's there, that my truth is written in my own little girl handwriting, is enough. Sometimes healing looks like falling apart. Sometimes it looks like crying over crayon hearts and faded unicorn stickers. But sometimes, healing looks like sitting still, listening to the child inside you say, "I'm still here, and I'm ready to be heard." Thanks for sticking with me through all of this. And if this story made you feel anything, if it brought back memories, or made you think about your own past, please know you're not alone. There's no timeline for healing, no right way to remember. But I hope, wherever you are, you start listening to your younger self too. They've been waiting a long time. I'll see you in the next story.